No score. Burch rolls to his right. He'll keep it. He's got it. He's at the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama.
Kind of searching for these last 3 or 4 weeks.
Weber on the zone read, cuts free. Weber headed for the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State.
Well, this is what they're looking for when
How's it going, everybody? It's week 11 here on the Jordan and Dad Show. I am your host, Flash Jordan. Last week was a big week in college football. Texas A&M lost, and they lost their fourth bet, as you see here. They did drop down to number 8, and Alabama won a really tight one against LSU, 10-0, and then Ohio State absolutely obliterating Nebraska. And you know, I'm a Ohio State fan. I'm going to quickly reflect on that game now. We did win 62-3, and some of you may know that Tommy Armstrong, Nebraska's quarterback, did get injured in that game. But you have to understand, he's not a defensive player, okay? You should know that. A quarterback is not on the defense. So Nebraska has no excuse. As you see there, they dropped down 9 spots. I think that's a definite excuse. Maybe their defense needs some work. So let's bring in our insider, Craig Dad Cruz. Give me one team that you think is too high in the rankings, like you think they should be lower, near the back of the top 25. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say that the team that probably has the highest ranking towards number 1 that doesn't deserve it is going to be Oklahoma. I don't think Oklahoma should be number 11. And the reason for that is because of the way the Big 12 is playing. I feel like Oklahoma should be closer to the Virginia Tech / Utah side, because you've got Colorado. You got the three, like, bunch of Big 12 teams right there in the middle of the pack. I know they're not any farther up, but I don't think that they even deserve to be there, because they haven't really beat anybody outside of Big 12 that's really amazing. And then you got the 9-0, which is actually now 10-0 Western Michigan. They struggled a little bit yesterday in their game to be 10-0, but they're only 2 wins away from going undefeated. And then they have a championship. I mean, here's the thing. If they don't crack the top 10 as undefeated, that's just a bad thing, man. That they really need to get their stuff together. That's pretty much how I feel about it.
Alright, and who do you think... Alright, so yeah, you said Western Michigan is too low. Personally, I think that Texas A&M is a little bit too high. Now, I'm not sure if the committee knew that their quarterback Trevor Knight was out for the season when they decided on putting them at number 8, but he is out for the season. So whether they knew that or not, I don't know, but I think they should be a little lower, maybe between 10 and 15. And honestly, I think Colorado might be a little too high. I really haven't seen much of them. I know they have a couple good wins, but I haven't really seen much of them to know how good they are. Or well, Florida State, yeah, I don't think Florida State should be as high as they are, or USC. I'm not sure why they're ranked, but we're gonna move on. Let's get into the Week 11 predictions. The next game we have here is the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes at the Navy Midshipmen. Now, I think he's going to win this game only because they have more experience against big teams, and I think they'll help them in this one. They're consistently a good team every year, and I think, obviously they're going to a bowl. They've already wrapped that up, so I think they're going to take this one.
I'm going to pick Navy. Navy had a good win against Notre Dame, and it is Veterans Day week, so we're going to go with the military gear and give Navy the win.
Alright, the next game, and this game would have probably been game day, had Baylor won last week. It's the Baylor Bears at the number 11 Oklahoma Sooners. Now, I think I still would have picked Oklahoma in this one, Baylor got their butts whooped by TCU, and yeah, they got crushed. I mean, there's no excuse for that loss. TCU just played so much better than they did. And yeah, Oklahoma, they've improved since their loss to Ohio State, and they look like they could possibly win the Big 12 this year. But I think the playoff is pretty much out of reach for them. But they will win this game.
So you think you have Baylor winning this game?
No, Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, I have Baylor winning this game. There's nothing like losing to a team that's your rival and then going back the next week slaughtering whoever you play. I'm picking Baylor.
Alright, there's only 2 ranked games this week, and they aren't very good ones. The number 24 and 25 ranked teams, and the number 4 and the number 20, who I don't think is deserving to be in the top 25 game. So, but this is one of those games. We have the number 16 West Virginia Mountaineers. They've been here a lot this year, at the Texas Longhorns. Now, Texas did just beat Baylor a couple weeks ago, and I think they will upset the Mountaineers. You know, I thought the Mountaineers were a legitimate contender for the playoff, you know, until that loss to Oklahoma State. And at the time, that looked like a bad loss. Now it's looking, you know, a little bit better now that Oklahoma State is in the top 15, which I did not expect. And again, I am picking Texas to win this one. It'll be a really close game, but I think whoever has the ball last will win this game, honestly. It's going to be that close.
Okay, I'm picking, wait, who did you pick?
Texas.
Man, I'm going to go with Texas, too. I'm sorry, I hate to agree with you. I really do, but I'm going to go with Texas.
Alright, the next game we have, this could have been a blowout, you might think at the beginning of the year, but both teams are actually having surprising seasons. Tennessee on the bad end of the surprising factor, and Kentucky on the good end. Kentucky has not had a good football team. You know, they're normally known for their basketball, but they are 5-4 this year, and they have a chance in the bowl game. I do think Tennessee will win this one, but it'll be really, really close.
As much as I want to pick Kentucky over Tennessee, Tennessee has a program that's better. I think it has more tradition and more power. Kentucky is 5-4. That is not a bad record at all. I'm going to pick Kentucky. Bottom line, Tennessee's got dissension within the ranks here. It's time that Kentucky can beat Tennessee.
Yeah, and I actually think I'm going to agree with you on this one. I do think Kentucky's going to win this game again. Tennessee is just in such a downfall. So yeah, I'm going to pick Kentucky with you. Alright, the next game we have here is the Appalachian State Mountaineers at the Troy Trojans. Now, I never expected to see these two teams with almost identical records. Appalachian State at 7-2 and Troy with a 7-1 record. Now, I know less than nothing about these two teams, and the only thing I know is that Appalachian State has been a consistently good team in that Sun Belt Conference. I think that's why I'm going to pick them in this game.
Appalachian State is one of those teams that you really want to root for based on the experience with Michigan a couple of years ago. But Troy is a team that will surprise you from time to time. Let's go ahead and say that Appalachian State wins this game.
I have to agree. Now, this, honestly, well, it is the worst possible ranked matchup you can have. The number 24 LSU Tigers at the number 25 Arkansas Razorbacks. I honestly don't know who to pick in this one. LSU, their defense played great last week against Alabama. I really thought that they had a shot to win that game. But, you know, a blocked field goal and an interception, and boom, you know, they're losing 10-0. So, and Arkansas had a win against Florida last week, who is not ranked anymore after being ranked 11, so they're probably disappointed. But I do think Arkansas is going to win this game.
Yeah, I really like Arkansas. As much as I hate to agree with you, I'm going to agree with you. Arkansas will win this game. I kind of want LSU to win because I want their interim coach to be the coach next year.
Oh, yeah.
So I want their coach. I want them to win for the. But Arkansas is going to win this game. Arkansas is a tough team. They're nitty-gritty. They're going to beat LSU. They don't survive well against good teams.
Alright, now the next game, the site for College Game Day, surprisingly, although they didn't have many options. I think this was the best one. The number 20 USC Trojans at the number 4 Washington Huskies. This game might be close just because now, it's got a lot of hype around it, I guess. Games will be there. I do think Washington's going to win this one, probably by 2 scores.
Hey, Washington Huskies, you're the man this year. You got to be the Big 12 team in the playoffs. I'm sorry, the Pac-10 team in the playoffs. You're going to win this thing. I'm going for Washington Huskies. I'm pulling for the underdog all the way. Go Washington.
The next game, we have the Minnesota Golden Gophers at the number 19 Nebraska Cornhuskers. Now, I do believe that Tommy Armstrong will be out for this game. If not, I think they will win. But honestly, I think Minnesota will pull this upset here. I really do. They are probably going to be one of the big surprising teams in the Big Ten West. And I think it'll come down to Minnesota, Wisconsin at the end of the year. So I'm pulling for Minnesota in the big upset here.
Dude, I don't want Minnesota to win, but I really do think they're going to win here. I am not kidding. I really think that Minnesota's going to take the cake in this game.
The next game, we're getting close to the end here, the number 3 Michigan Wolverines at the Iowa Hawkeyes. Now, Iowa coming off a bad loss last week to Penn State. Of course, Penn State in the top 10 now, so that loss isn't looking as bad, but Michigan has absolutely been on fire this year. They're clicking, and Jabril Peppers is having a fantastic season once again. Now, this will be a tough road matchup. Iowa does normally play well at home, especially at night. I do think Michigan's going to win this game, though, but I think it'll be a little closer than you might expect.
Hey, look, nobody really wants Michigan to win except for Michigan fans. Bottom line is, I'm pulling for Iowa. Do I hate Michigan? Absolutely. Do I hate Iowa? Absolutely. But I want Iowa to win. Why? Because Northwestern beat them. Iowa could beat Michigan, and you're better than Northwestern. I mean Michigan.
Right. I think I'd have to agree with you on this one. Now, the final game of the week, we have the 4-5 Cal Golden Bears at the number 23 Washington State Cougars. Now, Washington State, along with probably like Minnesota's not ranked, and like Nebraska, their losses are the things keeping them back in the rankings. But I do think they will win this one. Luke Falk is looking fantastic. Of course, they hammered Arizona last week, 69-7. Their offense is fantastic, but their defense is my only question. But I do think they get it done against Cal.
So Nebraska plays who?
Next, we have the final game of the week, the California Golden Bears at 4-5 at the number 23 Washington State Cougars, who are 7-2. Now, you might be thinking, well, Washington State is 7-2. Wisconsin is also 7-2, but they're ranked 7th in the nation. How can that be possible? Well, I think Washington State, along with Minnesota, the reason why they aren't ranked, and Nebraska, the reason why they aren't ranked as high, is because of the teams they've lost to. But I do think they will win this game, and it's just, building up that excitement for that game against Washington. That'll be fantastic.
I would really like Washington State to win this game, and honestly, at this point, I'm going to go with my heart. So we're going to pick Washington State.
Alright, so thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next week for Week 10. Any last words for the people at home?
Yep. Dad, out.
Alright, see you next week.